All right, welcome back to the John McEntyre Show live. I was informed that we was having technical difficulties, and so we had to basically. I said we'll just start from the top. We'll just scrap it, go live, start this new one. So I was talking about. First of all, I said I wanted to thank everyone for the wallet wins that we received. People for it to be so early in the year. uh, there are some big wallet wins that are happening out there. You have the everyday ones, high yield savings accounts being opened, checking accounts being opened, IRAs being opened, retirement accounts, 401ks being rolled over, all of that good stuff. One big one was a actual someone received a bonus. They used the bonus to pay off all of their credit cards, and so that was a double bonus because you're actually getting more money back than the bonus you received, because there's less payments. He's done away with all of the high interest, and so yes, that is a huge wallet win. So I want to um, invite you to share your wallet wins. Um, Share them, hashtag wallet win. I'll make sure and see it. I will share it. If you have a question, like I say, this is live, uppercase Q or capital Q, your preference, whichever one you decide to use, and I will see it and I will make sure and address it. And that's basically what today's show is about. I'm answering a question that a very good question that came across, um, because I was this is in line with getting on track financially for 2025, and I had another topic in mind, um, but the question was so in line that I was like, hey, I'll just answer that question today instead of waiting. And so the question is, should I have an emergency fund, sinking fund, or should I have both? And like I was saying earlier when I was answering the question, the short answer is both. You should have both, um, mainly because they are similar, but they are also different. They're for different purposes. The emergency fund, that's the money that's stashed away, um, that you would use in stressful times, in times of distress, job losses, emergency, prolonged health issues, crisis, where things that has caused the loss of income, steady income, and so this money covers your living expenses. That's what it's mainly for. Um, I talked about disability insurance a couple of days ago on one of the shows, and that's what disability works in tandem. Disability insurance works in tandem with or in place of your emergency fund. Because if something happened and you did not have income for a few months or whatever, that could totally deplete all of your savings, your emergency fund, and then you may have to go into other things. So that's what um, um, the disability insurance was for. It's all of this is stacked. It's defense. For protection. Emergency fund, called by the older generation, is called a rainy day fund, because the wisdom of the ages is it's going to rain. You live long enough, it will rain. My grandfather said it, my grandmother, my mother, my father, wise mentors, and they have not lied. They have not let me down yet. It's going to rain. And so that's what the emergency fund is for, is to cover those rainy days. It's basically a safety net. It's a safety net. And that's what emergency fund is. I'll talk quickly, cover the sinking fund, then I'll come back and cover the reason why you would want to have them separate. Sinking fund is preparation for something major that's coming, a major purchase, or you know, you may need to repair, replace, or purchase something, large, and something that if you use your emergency funds, it could deplete it. So this is a totally different savings fund. Both of them are savings. This is totally different. Case in point, 2024. I mean, no, I'm sorry, 2023. I said 2024. 2023, we replaced our heating and air system. The year before that, during the actual service call, um, uh, our technician let us know. He was like, in about a year, you're probably going to start having problems, major problems. So because it's getting at its maturity, it's beginning to mature. In other words, it's getting old, and it's working very hard, and it may not make it through a hard summer. If we have a summer like we did, 2022, 2023, this thing will not make it. That motivated us because we can handle the cold. You layer up, put on a jacket, put on a coat, whatever, even in the house, put on warm ups, whatever. Heat goes out, we're fine. Hot heat, hot, I don't do so well because you can only you can only take off so much without being arrested. So you so I do better in the cold air than I do the heat. So that was our motivation. Okay, well, we need to just start the plan of replacing it next year before it actually goes out on us or something major. Just be better to replace it. And so we were ready. We were ready to do that. Um, some people, they know that their car hanging on, barely getting from A to B, and it may be time to, buy a new car, or do some of those other replacements and repairs, major repairs. I remember one of the wallet wins was someone had saved their sinking fund for their roof replacement, and they were like, we were glad we did not have to use debt to do that. So that's what a sinking fund is for. It's more for those planned purchases, replacements, and repairs. Now, comparing the two, like I said, they're both savings. So you want to let's go to the emergency fund or rainy day fund. Rainy day fund, minimum 3 months of living expenses, up to 12 months. Some even say 24 months. There's some parts of the country, job market, for instance, job market is not, not robust, or, you may be in a career that if you did lose your job, it could take a while before you actually find another job. And it may have put you in a bracket, a lifestyle, to where maybe a part-time job really wouldn't do too much, or a couple of part-time jobs really wouldn't do too much. It would help, it would buffer, but it wouldn't totally replace. And so in those situations, some financial experts have said, go up to 12, at least 12 months, that you would be covered and everything. 3 to 6 is good if you're just starting out. You've heard plenty of times from all the experts, get that first 1,000 saved, that first 1,000 put aside. So as you're saving, something major may happen and you'll have the money. You may have to pay a deductible or something like that. And, something comes up, an emergency, while you're getting yourself established. But 3 to 6 months is the sweet spot in a high yield savings account. This money has to be liquid. You want it liquid. Liquid means quickly accessible. Like you can go get it today. If you needed it today, you could get it today. Um, you don't want this in investments. You don't want this in an investment account because, especially something volatile like the stock market, or somewhere it's in something like that. High yield savings account, money market account, or even one of those no fee CDs, to where basically saying, if you, before its maturity date, if you had to use it, you would incur no fees. Um, that's it. You don't want it in an investment account because volatile. What if you needed it today? You go look and see that the market is down and you've lost 50% of it right now. 50% down. And so what you had in there is only half now. And you having to wait for the market to come back up. Or you just have to use it. If it is an emergency like that, then you only have half of your money. So that's a loss. That's why you want this to be liquid. And also with the sinking fund, you want the sinking fund to be the same thing you want it in a, um, a high yield savings account, money market account, which is basically a savings account with a check that you can write checks from, um, or the CD, no fee CD. The reason why I say high yield savings, you're getting a better, get some interest, you're getting paid some money for it, better than a regular savings account. Money market account operates almost like they were popular. We used them before the high yield savings accounts made the scene. At one time, it was basically, um, you had a regular savings account, checking account, money market account that is being somewhat invested, but more safely. Um, and then you had CDs, but those CDs at that time they had, if you cashed it out before maturity date, you had to pay fees and everything. So really, only choices were savings, checking, money market account. Well, now today you have much more choices, bigger benefits, and everything. Banks, especially online banks, a safe online bank that's proven, has a proven track record, that's the best, because they usually give the best returns, because they don't have all of these buildings, all of this real estate that they're having to pay for. And when they have to pay for something, who pays for it? The client. So that's the best route for each one of them. The emergency fund, 3 to 6 months or longer. Um, Sinking fund, you want to think about, what purchases you're going to be making for the year, what something you may need to replace, or it could be, we're going on this big vacation, and so you want to put the money, in the sinking fund. It's not going on vacation is not an emergency, and so you don't use your emergency savings for, um, things like vacations or whatnot. That's where the sinking fund comes in. Put that in there. For instance, we knew how much our heating and air system was going to be. We got the estimates. Guy basically told us, I'll give you this estimate and it'll last this long. It'll be in effect for this amount of time because I'm using next year's cost. And we had the money ready. So that's what you do. So if you weren't going to do a big purchase like that, say for instance, you have a car and it may be time for a transmission replacement or get close, something like that. Okay, what's the most expensive cost to repairing the car? And you put that aside. Um, Car is fine. For instance, I'm just giving some examples. Um, you want to update your kitchen, new appliances. Okay, how much are the new appliances going to be? And now that's what your sinking fund is going to take care of. Uh, like I say, I had people, one couple, one of their wallet wins was replacing the roof. They saved the money, and when it was time for the roof to be replaced, they had the cash. They didn't have to use any debt, and they were good. And that's what the sinking fund is. Did not have to touch the emergency fund. This is just totally separate account, same, handled the same, but for different purposes. So I wanted to answer that question because that was a very good question. That came across, and it fit right in here because financial success, as I've been talking about it, you created your net worth statement where you did your dreams and goals, did your dream and goal list, did your net worth statement, let you know where you are, you established your budget, taking care of the insurances, um, you're doing handling your debt, and you want to save this. Some people say wait till you get out of debt before you do a sinking fund or emergency fund. I say do it at the same time because a lot of people, what I've seen is as they're, you know, trying to pay off debt, an emergency comes up and then they have to use maybe that credit card or something because they don't have an emergency fund. Well, get some money saved up while you're paying off debt. And then once you have your emergency fund established, you can become more aggressive with debt payoff. That's what I've seen work the best. Other ways have worked, but you really needed a lot of luck for things to really work out. This way, as you're moving forward, it's like having insurance. As you're moving forward, these things are in place as safety nets as you go along. So I hope that information was beneficial. If you have a question, please share your questions, your comments. Wallet wins. I'm always looking for those wallet wins to share and celebrate with everyone. I apologize again for the technical difficulty, but it was out of my hands. But we did get it done this time. And so I will be back Monday, which is Martin Luther King Day. We celebrate Martin Luther King weekend because Martin Luther King, he marched and died to unite America, to give uh, everyone equal opportunities. And part of that equal opportunity of your paying to live in America is servicing others, serving your fellow man. So that's what we plan to do. But I will be on Monday, Martin Luther King Day. Same time, same channel. Tune in Monday. We'll talk.